his house when I was younger.
You
The
did a
ba-
what?
we,
Upside down cross?
yeah, and we had dug a big old hole in the woods, and we covered it with boards, and we had a battery for on a headlight for lighting,
Uh-huh.
and we sacrificed salamanders. And we were like, "Oh, salamander, please return!" You know, like
You killed lizards?
it was just a salamander.
No, it's not.
He's still
That's a
around.
living being, dude. That's a sentient being.
Well, if you think about what the lizard represents, which is weird, right? But we painted a white upside down cross on every single tree in that woods. It made the newspaper, and we summoned spirits with a Ouija board. And when we packed it up, we never said goodbye, which my mother now says that was probably what fucked me up. But I got this motherfucker follows me everywhere. I saw him twice. I saw him once over my, like, at the foot of my bed. He's probably about 9, 12 feet tall, darker than dark. I didn't see what he looked like, but he was like, "Hey,"
I saw him too.
And then I had an out of body experience, and I had a grunt to wake myself up because I knew I was sleeping, but I couldn't get out of it, and I went, and it woke me up. But I was in the side of the rusty nail by the kegs, and I'm getting goosebumps, man. That's how real this shit is. And it was like the sun was just starting to come up, and he was sitting, and his body was like smoky gray, but like a robish kind of smoke, right? And his fucking face was, it looked like steel wool or hair in a circle, and there's nothing else, and it had like a smoky hood, just watching me. And I dipped out, like when I grunted, I was like, "Peace, stick up," and I was like, "Ugh," and I was back in bed, and I was out of breath.
Wait,
And
the
then,
dream is at the rest now.
well, it was no dream, man. I was awake.
Well, you remember whenever the first time you told me it? Probably don't, but
The last thing he did to me broke my watch, but it don't fuck with me. Like, can I tell one more story?
Yeah.
All right. I had a girlfriend once that when I communicate, like if I don't want to talk to her because she's annoying and shit, I'll write in dry erase on the bathroom mirror, right? And so she did it. So she was going out of town. I was going out of town right after her. She writes "I love you" on the mirror, and I wrote "I love you too," which I wrote "I love you too" TOOO exclamation point, right? In bigger letters, right underneath hers. Excuse me. So I got home 3 days later, and I walked in the bathroom to take a whizzle and my nizzle and pick up sticks and and on the mirror, like I was like, "What the fuck?" And you know what happens to dry erase? Like not when it's wet when you first write it, but when it's been sitting there, you just touch it and the shit's gone. It don't smear another, right?
Yeah.
So it looked like somebody had just ran their hand right through the middle of hers. I swear on my son's eyes, right? I even have a picture of this somewhere on a drive somewhere because it was on an old cell phone, but I did have it. People have seen it. And then mine, I didn't know what the fuck it was, but it was just like scribble, right? So when I'm on the couch watching, I think Price is Right or something, or Windows, I don't know, I was watching Jim Carrey's a funny motherfucker. So I'm sitting on the couch and she sits on my lap and she puts it like she's sitting on the edge of and I'm like, "Why'd you do that?" And she's like, "I didn't do what?" It's like, "The mirror. Why'd you erase what I wrote?" And she starts crying because she's a wuss, right? She was crying over everything. I got bit by her dog in the face and she started bawling.
You talking about Amanda?
Yeah, I had to go get my arteries. Anyway, she had a Doberman, which is like devil dog. I love devil dogs. They don't make devil dogs anymore, do they?
So.
Fucking thing. So she starts crying, right? So on the further inspection, it wasn't scribble. It was everything. It was what I had written broken apart. Like every stroke, like a B would be like a number 3 backwards, or forward is however you like your threes. It was like that, and then it had it was a slash. And the only reason why I knew this is because at the end, in the corner, all the way in the bottom of the mirror, was an OOO exclamation point. That was the only thing that was still intact, but the rest of it was broken apart by the stroke. Right? I hear shit all the time. I heard kids laughing in my backyard, eyes in the woods looking at me. I was able to orchestrate blinking lights in my neighborhood at one point, and when I told the story to a girl, they all went out. Like all the lights on the street went out, and the girl I was telling started crying.
And nothing else.
When I want to kill myself, something stops me, but yet something makes me want to I got good and evil, just like. So what I think I'm a vessel. Who knows? Anyway,
A vessel that's being fought over.
that's good. Yeah,
And
that's going to be
spiritual.
used in the final battle.
And that's a compliment to your soul and your talent, because they're not gonna fight over someone who's They're gonna fight over somebody who's mediocre or
Yeah.
someone who isn't a fighter or who doesn't have immense, spiritual power. They're fighting over you because the stakes are higher with you.
Man, well, we'll see, man. Anyway, you want to holler back at me, just holler back at me, man. We'll talk to you later, guys.